Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final session under the Product Management Concilium. After two extensive sessions held over the last weekend and a week-long case study competition exclusively for the students of IIT Bombay, we finally have the much-awaited session for you guys on demystifying product management. The speaker for today's session is Mr. Abhiraj Sharma, an IIT Bombay alumni who has great experience in both consulting and product management. He has been a consultant at Bain and currently is a product manager at Urban Company. We're very delighted to have you with us today, sir. The broad topics to be covered in today's session are analogies between consulting and product management, culture of PM in India, interview process for the role, how the COVID scenario affects PM culture in startups, and to end, a case study to complete the session. So, without any further delay, I'll hand over the session to you, sir.
Hey Dishank, thank you so much for your kind words, and it feels really weird to be called sir. Please mat bula yaar. Sir. It feels very, very, very weird. Uh, because it feels like I'm old, and I'd like to believe that I'm not. But happy to be here. Okay, so lots of people still joining. Should we wait or should we still start? I think.
Um, I guess another minute would be fine, but I guess people will be
Okay.
joining in between also. So, yeah, there are another
Okay.
one or two sessions going on. So,
Okay. Got it. Anyway, I'll just start. I'll just start presenting our slides. Anyway, initial slides are about the introduction and all.
sure.
But yeah, happy to be here. I graduated in 2016 and I was in the mechanical engineering program. Who all are from mechanical engineering? Can you just yeah, Zoom में वो feature अच्छा होता है raise hand वाला यहाँ पे नहीं है. That's a good one. But yeah, I was in mechanical engineering and Hostel 5. So anyone who's from Hostel 5 and mechanical engineering at IIT Bombay. I see a couple of folks also from other institutes. Good to see you guys. Uh, but yeah, Hostel 5 and IIT and Mech. Uh, Special shout out to you all. So yeah, and at InSteam, I was involved in a couple of things. One was Modai, and Modai I was heading media and marketing, outbound marketing and media relations. That's all. I am very curious to see how Modai shapes out this year. कुछ होगा ही नहीं, football कैसे claim करेंगे? So that's one question on my mind. Um, but apart from that, I also went on a semester exchange. That's where I first got introduced to product management because that's where we developed a cool wearable device. Prototype भी बनाया था. It was not a full-fledged device, but it was a prototype for a particular kind of disease patients. So the company, which was AbbVie, they finally tested it and piloted it, and then they launched it for hundreds of thousands of patients. So that was quite gratifying to see. That was my first introduction to product development, user empathy, all those sorts of concepts. So after that, I joined Bain, and at Bain, I was lucky to be staffed on a number of cases. So at Bain, I did my so I did about 7 cases at Bain. Two of them were in the IT industry, and one of them wasn't in the industrial goods space. All of these projects did was teach me a lot more about user empathy again. For example, in this tractor case, वहाँ पे मुझे ठेठ यूपी और बिहार के गांव में जाके यूजर रिसर्च करनी पड़ी, वहाँ पे मतलब फार्मर से प्रॉपर बात करके पता चला कि अच्छा ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये प्रॉब्लम है. That's what I understood कि यार यूजर रिसर्च कितना actually valuable है, and it's a core skill to have for anything that you take up, anything business related, anything strategy related. I think you have to know what the user is thinking, and you need to empathize with the user. So I think that's one of those principles I learned very strongly at Bain. I also saw कि यार टेक्नोलॉजी से ऑटोमेशन की वजह से कितना कितना डिस्प्लेसमेंट हो रहा है. So on a case in Singapore, I remember seeing that just a simple password reset tool at one of these IT companies, if you deploy, it will liberate or free up about 5,000 or 10,000 employees, 5,000, 10,000 employees globally. So that's why I realized it's a powerful tool. Like these things can actually create disruptive changes, and that's when I started wondering, yeah. And plus, I did another case with uh, with an industrial goods company, which was a boilers company. That's I realized that tech का थोड़ा passion तो भी बचा हुआ है, because it was core engineering and core mechanical वाले concepts apply करके we were thinking about heaters, boilers, and I was looking at the global energy industry, and I was working with engineers. So I realized this is something that passion still is left. So I wanted to try out what can I do with this passion for tech, and I thought tech plus impact sounded like a good thing to do, and that's why I ended up in product management. So yeah, Urban Company seemed like a great fit. I also thought about research. Actually, this is part of my first point. Uh, I also thought about, how to. Uh, I also thought about going back to research. I'm sure a lot of you might be wondering, yeah, research करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए. I did give it about 2 months. Like I spoke to my professors. Given that I was a dual degree student here, so I did my master's thesis with Professor Ramgaraj. I don't know if you, how many of you know. I spoke to him. I spoke to Professor Arnab Jana from Urban Sciences, and then I also spoke to a couple of ISC professors. I went to Bangalore and met them, and one of them was working on this cool thing about using artificial intelligence and machine learning in the field of neurosciences. So he gave me a project where I could actually work on, using AI and ML to detect signals of Alzheimer's disease in brain scans. So it was a pretty good project, but I realized I didn't want to work in a lab, to work with people, and I realized the same impact I can create using. Using product management. So that's why I ended up in being a product manager. But that's the overall journey so far. So I guess that sort of answers the why. That's the first question. From consulting to PM, why did I go forward? Uh, that's so
Hi,
anyway.
sorry to interrupt. Viraz, are you sharing the slides because they're not visible right now?
They're not visible. Okay, let me do that once more. Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah,
So
now
yeah,
they're visible, I guess.
can everyone see this? Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It was that was a monologue anyway, so I'm sure a lot of you must have gotten bored by now. So um, that answers the first question as to why the shift from consulting to PM. The second part of the agenda is being a PM in the Indian startups and impact of COVID. Third part I would be covering is being interviewing and hiring. Fourth would be case study, and also I'd like to request all of you that please ask questions in the middle of this presentation. Interrupt me whenever, wherever you want to, because I really want to keep this interactive. Because feedback नहीं मिलता तो समझते नहीं तो ये online में ये दिक्कत है. You really don't understand क्या what's going on. So anyone feel free to jump in. Uh, ठीक है. So I'll just go forward with this. Consulting to PM, what are the similarities and differences? So the why is, I think I've answered most of it. I said that I wanted to create impact, and I wanted to create impact using technology and people like together. I wanted to work in a team. I wanted to look at a challenging problem and work. But what at the core of it, I really wanted to do tech-based problem solving. I really like the problem solving aspect of consulting. कि यार एक बड़ी business problem को लेके उसको तोड़ते हैं. We look at different parts together. We think strategically, and then but I wanted to use tech as a tool to solve those problems. So that's the why of it. Now the similarities between these two job profiles is that both have a structured approach to problem solving. Like I my vice president, who was Shripad from IIT Delhi, he always used to question the why of like why are we doing this? Like and everyone at product at UC definitely questions you like what's the impact that you're going to create? Why are we doing this? What's the structure? Like what's the approach? So there's a structured approach to problem solving, and the why of any problem that you're solving is very important. Second is data plus user insights, and this is I think I find a lot of similarities here. Like I think as startups use data much more efficiently as compared to, let's say, an industrial goods company. We have data flowing in every day of the users, every hour. We know what our users are doing, and we are always hungry for more data. Yeah, boss, मेरे को पता चल जाए. मतलब we as tech companies, we want to get into the minds of the user using data. Yeah, भाई पता चल जाए अगला क्या खरीदने वाला है, अगला क्या करना है. That's the greed that powers all this motivation. Plus, second part is user insights. So as I mentioned, user insights are a big part of any customer-focused product management role. Thirdly, dealing with stakeholders, which I equate to dealing with clients in consulting. So stakeholders being, my stakeholders are the business teams at the urban company, the marketing teams, etc., etc. So I'll make it a bit more real later on, but for now, I think you can just understand that I'm given a problem statement. That problem statement affects the lives of not just urban company users, but also urban company employees. Those employees can be from marketing, from the business teams, from the operations team, from the finance team. Anyway, uh, the differences are, and this is one of the reasons why I shifted, was ownership levels. So, for instance, the ownership level at urban company is far higher than and consulting because you are owning the problem statement and you have a greater degree of freedom about timelines. Like you can set your own timelines. The client does not set the timeline, but you set your own timelines. If marketing comes to me, yeah, I need this feature, I'll say that first of all, I don't know why you need this feature. Secondly, I'll say this cannot be delivered at this time. It will be delivered only in December, or prioritizing my time is okay. Second is speed of execution. Speed of execution means it's I can control the speed of execution, so I can keep it fast paced or slow paced. Does not happen in consulting. The client sets it. Your relationship with the client sets it. Your relationship, the firm's relationship with the client firm, that sets the speed of execution. The scope of the project sets the speed of execution. A lot of things are beyond your control. Thirdly, it's leadership development. I think because you are leading teams directly or indirectly. For example, as a product manager, people do not directly report to you, and so you have to, this is sort of a pursuit as a brand of leadership, and you have to, when you can't, when people are not directly reporting to you, you have to sort of persuade people to do something. So let's say if I want to build a particular feature, I have to convince the team that I'm working with needs to trust me, and that I need to build that trust over time. That takes time, that takes effort. So that's I think that was something which wasn't there as much in consulting as compared to working as a product manager. So yeah, that's these are the similarities and differences. Any questions so far? I'll take a minute here to take some questions here.
Guys, mention your questions in the chat box, so we'll take it up from there.
Yeah. No questions?
Abhirath, I had a question if I could have asked.
Yeah, sure.
So I wanted to ask, the journey from consulting to PM still makes sense. A lot of people do it. But how about an entry level into PM first? So some roles do offer it. At least in campus placements, they do offer PM roles as well.
I think that's a good start. I would say. If, sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead and complete your question.
No. So that was the basic question. So as to, can you directly enter PM or?
Yeah, you can directly. I think if you're sure about PM, I think you should directly enter it because consulting to PM is a switch, and if you want to learn more about this field and you are sort of you cannot be 100% sure at the beginning itself, but if you're sort of sure that this attracts me more than consulting does, I would say go for it. Entry-level PM jobs are great, and entry-level PM jobs are rare too. So I'd say that experience is quite valuable also, because I know a lot of people who have that experience, and those that experience is much more prized as compared to consulting tier 2 experience, or because it's more relevant. So I would say that if you get it, and if you're sort of sure about product management, you should.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Any other questions, or I can proceed, I think. Cool. I'll continue. But if you have any questions, just keep typing them in the chat box. I'll just type for questions. So I'll briefly tell you some of the problems that I've worked on. So for example, right now I'm working. Recently, I concluded 4 experiments that we ran in parallel. So what we did was, if you guys have the Urban Company app, maybe you can open it. Actually, let me open it and share it with you. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Can you see my screen here? Can you see the strip, the blue colored strip above the icon? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, we conducted an experiment, and we wanted to see how people respond to localized messaging. So we said, in your area. So I stay in DLF phase 4 in Gurgaon, or let's say it's Powai, for that matter, in Mumbai. So we took out, I looked at the response that's coming out from the Google API, and I looked at, what all data do we have, and I realized we had the sublocality data. Google classifies data into different parts, and we saw that there is a sublocality data. So Powai, we told users that 50, 1,500 users in Powai in the last 30 days and the last 60 days have taken our services in this particular category. And we compared this with saying that 30,000 users in Mumbai in the same time period have taken our services. And you'll not believe this, but the conversion rate for localized messaging was 15% higher. So, that's one of the experiments that we're running. The other experiment we ran, I was leading the referrals piece at Urban Company, where, it's a simple, a person refers another person. And over there, very simple tweaks, such as just changing the call to action button to saying that, refer your friend. Instead of saying that refer your friends, I just said refer your friends via WhatsApp. That increased the CTR by 100 to 150%. That actually completely changed our referral program targets. And that's on track to give us about $1 million extra in GMV this year. So, these are two examples of customer focused work. The other example I'd like to give is a tech focused piece. So, for example, we were working on the core pricing system. Now think of it like Flipkart. Flipkart का सबने देखा होगा, Flipkart का आप सबने use किया, I'm guessing that's a good. So if you look at the pricing of Flipkart, it is powered by some technology, and then I was responsible for changing the overall architecture. That was a very tech piece. Point being, you can work on, as a product manager, you can work on very customer centric problems, and also you can work on very extremely detailed tech-oriented problems. The tech part is something which you can get your hands easily on in a startup, but in established companies, it probably will not be the case. That will be given to people who have done coding and people who have been, people have been software engineers before. I think I've been quite fortunate to have handled such a large tech piece on my own as well. So I think that has contributed significantly to my learning. Apart from that, I did a couple of projects. I don't want to bore you with the details. I would much rather do a case study because that will be much more engaging. And let me start sharing my screen again. Okay, so it's about tech heavy to customer heavy. It can also be about, I've also worked on an international problem. I've worked on Google Maps API cost reduction, blah, 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 blah. If you want, I can get into details of anything. Like just stop me here right now. Take. This is an important point. So if you look at Urban Company, which is a very ops heavy startup, whereas if you look at a tech company like Byju's or Lido Learning or Vedantu, all of these edtech firms, the technology helps them scale up, right? Urban Company, it's an ops heavy company. Ultimately, what scales up is the base of professionals that we have. That's the bottom, that's the limiting factor. Like, we need to grow a customer base, and we also need to grow the base of professionals together. So the importance of tech depends. For example, if you look at Ola, it's again a very sort of an ops heavy company. You need the operations team is heavily involved in recruiting drivers, ensuring that they're complying to all those norms. Obviously, there is tech. Similarly, in Urban Company, there is tech, but still, the operations do play an important role. So the relative importance of business teams varies in these, and thus the relative importance of the product teams also varies. For example, at Urban Company, I would not take the final call on pricing, whereas let's say in an edtech company, probably, or let's say in a US-based tech company, I think this is more prominent in the US-based tech company, that product is at the center of a lot of central business decision making. Here, product is involved in giving the business teams the tools so that they can make those decisions. Whereas in a company like Amazon, I think product takes those decisions. So I think that's the difference between a tech heavy versus an ops heavy company. And I'd like you guys to think about this if you want to consider product roles in the future. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong, but it's good to be aware of what you're building and what do you want to do. Let's say if you want to do more of that operational heavy work, you would want to go into a business team as compared to a product team. So yeah. Any questions at this point? Because that's I've been going on for a lot of time. Any questions?
There are a couple of questions, I guess, in the chat.
Oh, I didn't see them. Sorry. Great. What is your take on the future of PM roles, both the tech industry and non-tech industry? Ayush, could you elaborate on your question?
So like in India, we generally have tech-focused PM roles, right? But if you see abroad, there's hardware-focused PM roles also, and then there are, like you say, operations-heavy PM roles. So how do you see the PM role evolving in India? Like,
So I think again, the PM role, as I said, completely depends on the company. For instance, a PM role, I mean, can you give me examples of 2, 3 apps that you use? Maybe I can make it more real for you.
YouTube.
Okay, YouTube is one.
Teams. Yeah, Teams.
Sorry, Teams. Okay,
MS
Teams and
FB, LinkedIn.
FB, LinkedIn. Okay, got it. So let's say first one I said was YouTube. So YouTube would be YouTube is a very stable product, right? And it will be driven. The product will be driven by the strategy the company is taking. The company wants to now get into music. So let's say I'm just thinking out loud here. So let's say if you are launching Google, YouTube Music, you would be responsible for driving people through the free trials, and then you'll have to think about, okay, how do I get more users via this funnel, and that will be your main product that will be focusing on. Whereas something like uh, Teams, so Microsoft has completely shifted from a year-long subscription to a monthly subscription. It has completely changed its business model. I can give you a couple of slides on that too. I read a study there, but and that will impact. So the metrics again will change. You will think about, how do I retain my customers on a monthly basis there? Like that will be a metric there, and hence all your product features, all your builds that you do will be directed towards that. And finally, LinkedIn, for example, uh, LinkedIn is a social network at the end of the day. Social network is powered by 2 things, right? The revenue comes from 2 things. One is the premium users of LinkedIn. Second is advertisements. So you will need to these 2 things will need to contribute to the company's revenue, and for that you will have to drive engagement. So if you look at LinkedIn now, they've introduced stories, because stories is a format that works everywhere. So that's intended to drive more engagement on the platform, to ensure that more people keep coming and more of those actually convert into premium users. That's one. And they have more people to show that, to the companies, that look, we have about 500 million users, and you can advertise to these users, and they're heavily engaged in the platform. So, depending on the company, my larger point is, depending on the company, depending on where it is, it will heavily determine your product world. Now, coming to hardware or developing any actual physical product, it's a completely different cycle. There are fewer mistakes that you can do, and there are fewer the life, the time it takes to build a physical product is to build a successful physical product is huge, because the chances of error are fewer. If you're launching a soap, let's take the example of anything. If you're launching a soap in the market, you need to be bloody sure that it works, that people will buy it. Whereas for software, what you can do is you can launch a few experiments on a few group of people and see how people are responding to that, and you can keep building on that. So it depends whether first it's hardware or software. Secondly, what the company's main objective is. So I think that determines the role as a PM. I hope I've answered your question, Ayush.
Yeah, thanks.
Alok is asking, what part of my work do I like the most? I think it comes down to A, the problem solving, and B, the execution part of it, like the ownership level. That I thought of a problem, I looked at it from all points of view, and I solved it, and actually did the implementation as well. So I think that's the overall journey is what I like, and also failures also teach you a lot. If something has failed, you need to go back and check what has failed, and you can work on it, and it's a good journey, and that's the part of my work that I like the most. Cool, guys. Thanks for the questions. Keep them coming. I'll jump back to my presentation now. Impact of COVID, I don't think it has impacted the work as much. I think it's a uniform impact across. If you're talking about business, yes, a lot of firms have been impacted. But there are firms who have benefited as well. For example, EdTech is an industry that has benefited immensely. I know friends who are working in some firms who are expecting a growth of 2x, but they saw a growth of 5x. Like imagine double, 2.5 times the growth that you were thinking has come. Like it's amazing. That's one. We have also benefited. Certain categories like salon at Urban Company have benefited a lot. But apart from that, nothing much has changed except for the working style. Uh, I prefer to meet people in person, and that is why I've found it difficult initially to adjust to this, but now I've adjusted as well. So other than that, nothing much has changed. Hiring and interviews. I think we had a discussion about 15 minutes ago on this. Very few positions for fresh graduates. That's why I suggest that if you have, you know, if you get a position after graduation, and if you're interested in product, I suggest take it. I don't know whether it'll change or not because at Urban Company they still remain cautious. They don't hire freshers. As of now, they want people with experience. It's because it's easier for them to filter out. It's easier for them to filter out. Okay, this person has done X, Y. This person has a year of experience working in a company. It'll be easy for me to hire him. I don't need to spend time on training and helping him do basic things. So that's the that's the mindset that companies have as of this date. So I would be cautious. I would not expect this trend to change too much. What gets asked? um, so I'd say that in my interviews at Urban Company, one of the most common things were, I was asked about an app that I use, and then we went into the problem solving part of it. For example, in one of the interviews, I was asked about, Hotstar. I said I use Hotstar, and the person said that if you use Hotstar, what are the metrics that come to your mind if you track? What are the metrics that you will track? And let's say if this metric goes down, how will you go and solve that issue? Another problem was launching Uber. What's that? Uber Share, the shared rides of Uber. I'm sure all of you have used it. Uske around there was an interview question. Then my assignment. I submitted for Zomato. I thought about what are the problems that Zomato could face. I just looked at the app and I backtracked into what are the problems and how I could structurally solve that. So I took that approach, and otherwise it was a simple consulting guesstimate interview. So guesstimates are always really good. I think every interview that I've given, I think guesstimates are supremely important because they help you think structurally and they help you estimate things without they give you a sense of comfort in scenarios which you do not plan for. So I'd say do your guesstimates right and do a couple of case studies from consulting. I think that will be super helpful because it just helps you bring structure to your problem solving. I'm sure you are able to solve problems, but what the interviewer wants to see is the approach. So I'd say that nail that approach pretty well. Any questions at this point? Hey guys, questions? Hello. Am I audible? Mic check. Hello.
Yes, Avrat, you're audible. Guys, put your questions in the chat box. We'll take it up from there.
So there are two questions. I'll take Manik's questions first. So product management is similar to experience-driven management college we had. Product management or product level. So Manik, could you elaborate on the question? If you're still there.
Hello. Hello. Yes, sir.
Manik.
Sir, what I want to convey is like that in college life, we had the experiences in the different clubs and societies, and there we get the chance to, as a manager or as a senior to manage the juniors and execute the event or anything like that kind of things. Now, such experiences is a product management is of more into the product related, like planning, planning the market, then R&D of the product, then launching the product, more like that. But as a product manager, the main skill I should have is like of the communication skills to like collaborating the different departments in one and then delegating the works and timelines. Is it so or anything else, sir?
I'd say that a lot of things are similar, but I'd say that when you're in college and when you're doing that event. It's a lot of hustle. I think that hustle helps, managing those people, and managing that hustle really helps. But what the additional thing that is needed, and that often which we don't do in college fests, is problem solving. That comes with, I think, experience in working in a job or just having that mindset. So I would say that consulting case studies are a good way to start and start thinking about it. That's the additional thing that's needed. So uh, that would be one thing that you can do in addition to having event management experience. Because you're actually dealing with a feature that can impact a lot of lives and in a professional setting. College fests are pretty much our own thing, right? We can do whatever we want, but here, because there are lots of stakeholders involved, so that layer, yeah. So you get the sense basically. That's
Yes,
one.
sir.
Uh, uh, Second is, do we hire PhDs? And yeah, we do hire PhDs, but I remember at Urban Company, I'm speaking strictly from my experience, there was a PhD beta team where we wanted matchmaking experience. So, uh, we have thousands of customers and we have thousands of professionals. We want to match the right customers with the right professionals, and we need a strong matchmaking algorithm. And that's where uh, data scientists and PhDs were helping in. But I don't think so. There is any there is any reservation about hiring PhDs as such. It's just that very few of those applications come in. But I don't think so. There are any reservations about hiring PhDs. Um, product design is completely different. Maybe the product designers typically come from design schools or people who have designed products in the past, digital products in the past. So that's a key difference, like electronic design versus product design. That's the difference I'd like to highlight. Um, Hospitality industry to PM, again, I'd say that problem solving in hospitality industry, if you're not comfortable with data, if you're not comfortable with numbers, I don't think so. Product management would be a great fit for you, because we deal with data and numbers all the time, and it if until unless you can show that you are comfortable with data and you can ace those data related problems, you can really quickly analyze numbers. I think uh, that's the key skill that people are looking for in product managers. Ritvik is asking what's the difference between UX while designing apps and software and website. Ritvik, is the question this, that what's the difference between uh, designing apps versus websites? That's the question, right? UX of apps versus UX of websites. Is that right? So I'll just answer this quickly and move to the case study. Um, the difference is you need to just think about you need to think about from what you said, senior PMs, I should think of UX apps. No, UX is one part of it. UX is one part of it. Yeah. So answering your question, Ritvik, UX is one part of it, but it's not the only part of it. UX, the designer is going to design the UX for you. You are not going to design. You're going to do the first level of thinking that okay, this is what is required to solve the problem, and this is what we need to fix. I think a lot of it will get clarified in the case study that we do. So let's go about that, because we are running out of time as well. Okay, guys. So I've taken a hypothetical edtech company. This is the problem statement. The founder says that we are an online tutoring company and we're based out of India. We want to grow to 3x next year. Okay. We are at X and you want to become 3x next year. So we want to grow by 2x. 2x delta is. How do you suggest we should go about it? And you who are still undergrad at ITB, you are stuttering, but you regain your confidence and you go ahead. May I ask some questions? Okay, guys. So what are the questions that come to your mind? Like, if let's say this is the only problem statement that's given. Guys, come on. This is where you guys can speak up. You guys should speak up.
Abhirat, can you please elaborate what kind of growth are we looking at? Is it the number of users or tutors or what exactly?
Yeah, so we're looking at user growth. We're looking to, so before, let me actually explain the business model. So this is how the business works of a typical tutoring company. So let's say the most important thing here is there's a sales representative. Okay, he goes to parents and he gets these leads via schools. Parents have a look and just buy a 1 year package. Okay, and then they also tell other parents, "Ki boss, I bought this for my kid." Okay? And the other parents also buy this, and the company gets more revenue, and then it hires more sales representatives to expand on their business. This is how the typical business works. So the business is about tutoring 6th and 7th grade students, and in a single class there are about 6 students and 1 tutor. Take at max 6 students. Parents pay for a year-long package upfront. Like sales rep गया, उसने बोला कि भाई अभी खरीदो नहीं छुट्टी. That's the only option. And there is an option to extend. Like if you like the service, you can extend it the next year. And the sales reps are ambitious people from tier 2 and tier 3 colleges. Okay. Now, what are the questions that come to your mind?
Hey, one question that comes to my mind is the end goal is increasing revenue or is it increasing the number of users? Because sometimes increasing number of users does not mean that the revenue will also get increased.
It's a very good question. So, I want to increase both. The founder says that I want to increase both the revenue and the number of users. And any other questions?
Sir, can you let me know about the geographical plan of this company, like where it is established and what is the current location it is focusing on?
Yeah, so it's based out of India, and don't think of just think of it as it's based out of India. Currently, it operates in North India, but we have a pan India presence. Like, up here, as is uniform right now. It's uniform. Cool. I'll jump to the next slide. So the CEO now says, this is I've told you that I need to grow by 3x. And another question would have been to know the current numbers. Yeah, okay. From where to where do you want to go? Okay. Because that's very important, right? If you already have 1 million students and you want to grow to 3 million students, that's a very challenging ask. But if you are at 20,000, you want to go to 60,000, ठीक है, कर सकते हैं. So the founders gives you this data. कि बॉस 20,000 स्टूडेंट है, मुझे 60,000 करना है. ट्यूटर्स मेरे 5,000 है, मुझे 10,000 करना है. रेवेन्यू मेरा 300 जितना भी आ रहा है, ठीक है. एवरेज रेवेन्यू पर यूजर 15,000 है, एंड 15 सही है क्या कुछ? हाँ. 300 million is my total revenue. I want to grow to ये गलत है. This should be 900 million. I want to grow to 900 million, and average revenue per user should also grow. अच्छा नहीं. So this is 3x and this is 4x. So 3x is your number of users, 4x is your revenue growth, and average revenue per user should also increase. And my student to tutor ratio should also increase because I want to increase the utilization of these tutors. Okay. Let me share a spreadsheet with you guys. Maybe you can look at the numbers in detail and you can play around with it. Yep. Can you open this one?
Abhirat, I think it has a restricted access. If you can change it to.
Yeah, I'll do that. I thought it did. Cool. I've given the edit access as well. Cool. Can you guys see that? No.
Yeah, we can access the data now.
Great. So, as you can see, there are about. So what's happening is this: 120,000 leads. Okay, this is the Salesforce. Salesforce ऐसे काम करता है, ठीक है. There are 120,000 leads, and there is some कुछ तो स्ट्रेंथ है एंड दे कन्वर्ट अ पोर्शन, ठीक है, कन्वर्जन परसेंटेज है 17%, ठीक है, कि मतलब मेरे 120,000 को मैं कितने में कन्वर्ट करूँ, जितने लीड्स आ रहे हैं उसमें से कितने कन्वर्ट कर पा रहा है सेल्स वाला बंदा, दैट्स व्हाट वी नीड टू इंक्रीज, ठीक है, एज यू कैन सी फ्रॉम हियर, ठीक है, that's one part. Another question could also be this, actually why don't you guys look at the numbers and ask questions if you have, and that'll be a better way to do it. Just sheet hai na, just go through that, I'll take a minute and you guys can write down your questions, like what are the questions that you need to ask to go ahead in this case, that's all I need right now. Okay guys, so what do you think, how do you think we should go ahead in this case? Any suggestions?
Guys, give your insights in the chat, or if you want to speak up, it's fine.
Yeah, I think last I checked it's still a democracy, so, anyway, I'll proceed with the case. So one thing to look at here is one question to ask here is कि अभी तो हमारे पास 20,000 स्टूडेंट है, अगर हमको 60,000 जाना है तो हाउ मेनी ऑफ दीज स्टूडेंट्स डू वांट टू रिटेन, ये भी तो होगा ना, एक साल का पैकेज बेचने मतलब ये थोड़ा ना है कि वही पैकेज चलता, मतलब ये थोड़ा है कि हम हर साल नए बच्चे ऐड करने पड़ेंगे. वंस यू हैव अक्वायर्ड अ स्टूडेंट, तो you can not acquire, मतलब जैसे when you sold a 1 year package, you can still ensure that the same kid stays for the next year, right? ये तो कर ही सकते हैं, ठीक है. तो one thing to look at would be कि यार इसमें अभी currently let's say 75, we need to retain 75% of the students, ठीक है, तो हमारा लोड कम हो जाएगा. So if you look at the spreadsheet, यहाँ पे कुछ नंबर डाले हुए थे. Someone has said yes, Parth, exactly. So we are just looking at the metric that we want to prioritize on. So one, I've anyway said कि this is one metric that we need to prioritize on. I'm marking this in green, ठीक है. This is a conversion of leads to actual sales, ठीक है, that's one thing. Second thing we need to prioritize on is the retention. कि यार 20,000 में से अभी मैं बोल रहा हूँ 75% रिटेंशन है. 20,000 का मतलब 20,000 का 75% कितना हो, 15,000, ठीक है, 15,000. तो 15,000 स्टूडेंट्स आ जाएंगे, बट लेकिन लेट्स से आई वांट टू रीड, बट माय करंट इंडिकेटिव इज 70%. मेरे को रहना 75% पे, मुझे उसको 90% करना नेक्स्ट ईयर, अज्यूम में करना है. तो आई ऑल्सो नीड टू रिटेन द पेरेंट्स, मतलब आई रियली नीड टू एंश्योर दैट द पेरेंट्स हु आर देयर ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म, हु हैव बॉट दिस, नीड टू स्टिक विद माय प्लेटफॉर्म, ठीक है. अगर ये मुझे ये सारे टारगेट अचीव करने हैं तो विल डिटेल्स से बाद में घुसते हैं. लेट मी जस्ट शॉर्टन द केस फॉर यू गाइस, इट विल बी मच सिंपलर टू ऑब्जर्व. So there are two things, two metrics I have prioritized for you. One is this, and the second is ये retention, ठीक है, इसको maintain करना है पूरा. Increase भाड़ हो जाए. तो अब मेरे को पता चल गया प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पर है. प्रॉब्लम है हमारे एक तो पेरेंट्स वाले एरिया में, एंड सेकेंडली पेरेंट्स में इशू है, एंड देन सेल्स फोर्स में है कि मतलब पेरेंट्स पे मुझे फोकस करना है. आई वांट टू फोकस माय प्रोडक्ट फॉर द पेरेंट्स एंड फॉर द सेल्स फोर्स. I need to ensure that parents stick to the platform. That's one. I need to ensure that the sales force keeps performing and they perform better overall. Their average performance should be better. अब एक और context की बात ये है कि यार 3x growth जो है, isn't this a bit aggressive? The answer is no, because startups typically have this sort of a growth. अगर तुम ये ग्राफ देखो, this is typically what is referred to as a hockey stick growth. This is the early stage जहाँ पे a lot of VCs funded. Yeah, this is the hockey stick growth that they look at. कि यार ऐसी growth चाहिए, and 3x is not that big a deal. Secondly, because this is ये broadband के बलबूते पे business चलने वाला है. As broadband adoption grows in India and becomes cheaper in India, more parents will start buying broadband connections. It will be easier for their kids to afford online tutoring classes. That's why there is a market that's ready to be captured, and therefore 3x is not that aggressive. ठीक है, तो अब हमें पता चल गया पेरेंट्स और सेल्स फोर्स में कुछ तो इशू है, इसको सॉल्व करना है. ठीक है, यहाँ तक क्लियर है सबको? आई एम अज्यूमिंग यस, यू कैन एनीवे नॉन पार्टिसिपेट ऑन दिस. तो नाउ थिंक ऑफ दिस कि पेरेंट्स का जो पोर्टल है ना, जब पेरेंट्स अपना लैपटॉप या टैबलेट खोलते हैं, अज्यूम द लैपटॉप खोलते हैं, ठीक है, लैपटॉप पे उनको ये चीज देखते हैं कि पेरेंट लॉगिन दिख गया, स्पीक टू ट्यूटर्स का ऑप्शन दिख गया, स्पीक टू हेल्पलाइन का दिख गया, एंड ये बच्चे का नाम दिख गया कि यार बच्चे का नाम ये है, ये पैकेज लिया है, इतने क्लास कंप्लीट करें, तब इतना परसेंटेज अटेंडेंस है, एंड इस परसेंटाइल में बच्चा लाइक करता है. ठीक है, एंड यहाँ पे जाके पेरेंट्स कैन एक्चुअली गेट टू अ डिटेल्ड रिपोर्ट. अज्यूम दैट दिस इज द वेब प्रोडक्ट फॉर द पेरेंट्स. ठीक है, what do you think should be the next step after this? Like, let's say if you're in this, what would you do? Like, if you want to improve this product, what would you think about the first thing that you'll do? Any suggestions? Hello guys, any suggestions?
We will look into the conversion rate.
Yeah, correct.
Conversion ratio. Like
Conversion of
the
what,
man-
Manik?
basically, like the current conversion ratio is 17%,
Mhm.
and like that means that the sales force is not able to generate a good number of conversions from the lead. Like from 1,20,000 leads they have from the parents, they only generating 20,000. So like we have to like or teach our team or like upgrade them.
Correct. Right.
That's the thing.
Correct.
And the
That's
second
one part. Yeah. Mhm.
second thing is like generating the more leads through the marketing,
That's
and that's the thing, like
Absolutely.
analytics, like
Absolutely.
people who are searching for like online education and all. So
Yep.
making reach to them about our
Yep.
product and about our services. These are
Yep.
the two things. And third thing, I think that's an initial point to these two is like what are students, what are the people looking for? Like what are
Mhm.
6th and 7th students, class students looking for? Like
Mhm.
in that case, the students of that time, that 6th and 7th are looking for the Olympiads, basic learnings, and we can upgrade to the new as per the new trends like the coding thing and some that kind of stuff that can attract to our tutoring, like
Okay. So
adding the
Manik,
new products.
Manik, I appreciate your inputs. I think they're great. Just one thing I'd like to caveat is, whenever you're approaching this sort of problem, I think you were right till the
Okay.
point of upgrading our sales force, because we have established that using data. यहाँ पे डेटा से दिख गया है कि भाई मेरे को improve करना है, मतलब that's the target. Assume that that's the target. ठीक है, 17 से 20 पे लेके
Okay.
जाना है मुझे. ठीक है.
Okay.
So अब मुझे उनको अपडेट करने पता चल गया, बट लेकिन ये कहीं पता नहीं चला है कि यार स्टूडेंट्स में इशू है, समझ रहे हैं कि स्टूडेंट्स के कंटेंट में इशू है, मतलब that has not been established anywhere. So until
Okay.
unless that has been established, we should not go into any direction saying कि हाँ स्टूडेंट्स को अच्छा लगता है. This is what you're basing out of your own experience, which is okay to start with, but to make it conclusive and to make it into a recommendation, you should speak to users first. That's the point. But I think you've given really good inputs. Thank you so much for that. So taking cues from your input only, I'd say कि यार just speak to parents. ठीक है कि यार एक बार बात कर लो. ठीक है, एंड उसमें भी हम किससे बात करेंगे? आई वुड से कि लेट्स स्पीक टू डिससैटिस्फाइड पेरेंट्स. वो बताएंगे क्या दिक्कत क्या है, मतलब क्योंकि बिकॉज इट्स इजी फॉर मी टू रिटेन द यूजर्स, राइट? कि यार मेरे को पेरेंट्स अगर मैं रिटेन हो जाए तो मैं सेल्स फोर्स का लोड कम हो जाएगा, मैं कम लोग हायर करने पड़ेंगे नए यूजर्स लाने के लिए, राइट? एज सिंपल
Absolutely.
एज. तो अब इस पे पेरेंट्स की बात करते हैं. तो what are the questions you think you will ask the dissatisfied parents? One question simple is, why are you dissatisfied? ठीक है, बोलेगा सब कुछ बकवास है. Now what is the second question do you think we should ask? And I would appreciate anyone's input here, please.
What more should we actually include in the syllabus, which currently we're missing it out right now?
Okay, that's a good question. Cool. More questions. I'll just keep writing in the chat.
Maybe what is the target of the parents?
That is good. That's a good question. Should we include? Okay, and go on.
How can we make it more engaging, like doing some gamification in it?
Okay, but why do you think gamification is required in the first place, like for the parents?
Okay,
Do parents want to feel that the product is gamified?
So the students will more engage more with the content in case of gamification. Like they'll be more interested. So we'll have more attendance there, like the metric that will increase there. And so the obviously the student will then engage more with the app, and the parents are like then they can obviously then retain get retained for the next year.
Okay, so
We
this
can
will be more.
rephrase the question. Can I say?
Sure, go ahead.
We can rephrase the question like, are your children engaging in the content or not? Like watching on the screen, do they distract or not? Like if that's what they are asking for, like gamification
Yep.
or not. If the parent says yes, they distract, and then we can think of like.
Yep, exactly. I agree with Manik's approach because we're speaking with parents right now because children are not the decision makers here. Like that's the key thing I want to drive again because students do not decide that their parents will buy this particular online tutoring platform. Parents decide कि यार मेरे बच्चे को ये सही लगा मेरे को लग रहा है मेरे बच्चे के लिए ये सही है. Right? That's what they're.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. And we haven't established that gamification is working. A. And secondly, there's an online tutoring platform. So as my gamification there is scope, but we're not giving too much content out there. It's a live class. Like live class is what we're selling.
We can ask for the progress they had made in the last 3 to 4 months. The students' progress mark.
Yep.
If they say yes or no, then that can make sense.
Exactly. Because as you see here, the parent cannot actually say what progress the student has made, right? So उसको value तभी दिखेगा. So that's a very valid point. So if I've just thought of a real life interview that you would do in this case, and what happens is this: interaction with the sales. So you'll think your parent आया कैसे यहाँ पर? You will ask यार interaction with the sales rep कैसा था? Sales rep हमारा सही था कि नहीं था? यार वो बहुत ही चालू था, मुझे तो मतलब दम नहीं लगा था, तो कुछ तो बोलेगा parent. And क्या आपको information जो आप चाहते हो वो दिख रही है कि नहीं आपको? बोलेगा of course मतलब मैं क्या I cannot use that word. Any suggestions? बोलेगा मेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. मतलब if you ask such open-ended questions, मतलब like कि यार कुछ suggestion बता दो, कोई response नहीं आएगा, ठीक है? But बोलेगा कि यार मेरे को ट्यूटर से बात करनी है. और फिर तुम देखोगे साला तू तो एवरेज से ज्यादा बात करता है, तू प्रोग्राम चाटता रहता है ट्यूटर को, चुप रहे मतलब, ठीक है? पर लेकिन आप चाहते हो, then you will ask आप चाहते हो, which is I think what you have suggested. तो बोलेगा कि यार देखो मैं बहुत पैसे खर्च कर रहा हूँ अपने बच्चे के लिए, मुझे जानना है कि यार मतलब has he gained anything out of it, like has he progressed or not, like that's the key thing that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And anything else, मतलब यार हाँ मुझे और भी जानना है कि यार मेरा बच्चा कर क्या है, that's what they want to know, right? एक तो है कि यार बच्चे की progress, second यार how is he behaving in class, that's the key thing, right? So then you will think with the designer and you'll say कि यार इस पे थोड़ा change करते हैं, clearly इसका मतलब this is something is not working in the product, ठीक है? You'll say कि I need to solve for these things. This is a problem I've identified, after speaking to a lot of parents, and I want to make the parents feel involved in the child's journey. Okay, I want to give him or her input. Boss, your child has progressed so much. Look, my product is working. It is effective. Okay, that's the message I want to drive. And I want to make sure that उसको पता रहे कि यार वो कितनी बार बात कर रहा है ट्यूटर से, और उसको पता रहे कि यार मेरा बच्चा कर कैसे रहा है, ठीक है? So then the designer and you will think यार ये 3-4 एलिमेंट डाल के देखते हैं एंड फिर उसको टेस्ट करते हैं बच्चा कैसे रेस्पॉन्ड करता है. तो बच्चे का नाम मान ले वॉल्टर वाइट है, ठीक है? तो यू विल मान लो यू टेस्ट दिस यूआई से कि देखो पहले वो मतलब 68th परसेंटाइल में था, अब उसने इतना परसेंटेज इंप्रूवमेंट किया. दिस इज अ परसेंटेज इंप्रूवमेंट इज व्हाट यू चूज कि देखो उसने 20% इंप्रूव कर लिया इन द लास्ट x5 मंथ्स, ठीक है? एंड फिर एक कस्टमाइज कुछ तो बुलेट आ जाएगा कि ही हैज इंप्रूव्ड हिज पर्सनल रैंकिंग में 20% दिस ईयर, ही इज ऑन हिज वे टू बिकम अ ग्रेट कैमरा, ऐसा कुछ तो फालतू एक तो ट्यूटर कमेंट डाल दो एंड देन यू टेस्ट दिस आउट कि यार हाउ आर पेरेंट्स रिस्पोंडिंग टू दिस, has their engagement increased, has the time spent on the platform increased or not, yes or no, are they coming back more for the product, yes or no? And is this likely to translate into them sticking for the platform next year as well, yes or no? Hopefully, yes. So, this is how you would typically approach this problem. Any questions so far?
Hi, Abrat. So I wanted to ask. Suppose we are asked this question in a live interview. So how should we present the solution? What kind of details should be given? Like the current solution has a lot of details that
Yeah.
might get missed in a live case.
So yeah, so what happens is, you don't think of the solution immediately when you're doing these customer interviews. What you end up doing is you just look at the problems of the customer at that point. Like that's all you need to focus on. After that, you can think of like these solutions can vary a lot. As in, you can do very simple tweaks and you can create a plethora of solutions. And then you need to test those solutions. You need to take a call, ki boss, okay, I will test only 2 or 3 of these solutions. Then I will go to the users first. I'll select about 10 or 20 users and I'll show the mock-up and I'll ask them questions. Ki, okay, I'll show this for about 30 seconds. I'll take the phone back or take the tablet back and I'll ask, okay, did you register this? How did you feel about this? So you need to get into the minds of the user because ye dikhane ke baad, what is his response? That's where you test the solution. You don't think of the solution immediately. You go back to the drawing board, you rope in the designer and he builds out the solution and then you figure out what works best and what does not. So yeah, that's the overall journey of building a product.
Okay, so my question was more of that. How are we supposed to present in this in a live interview? Like the journey you explained is
you cannot present this in a live interview. What you can do in a live interview is this. You can basically the live interview is not about this. Live interview is a lot about this that you need to get into.
okay.
This is what the live interview should be about, like identifying what is the problem, identifying that, retaining customers and bettering your sales force. These are two key levers, and then you can think about how do you go about this, and there it can go from anywhere to anywhere. In a live interview, what will happen is you will think about, okay, you will say that you will speak to parents, like that's the input that you will give to the interview. Let's say, I think after realizing that these two are the issues I need to solve, I will go and speak to parents to actually figure out what the issues are. Okay, and then the interviewer will say, okay, the parents have given all this input, and that's pretty much the end of the interview. Because okay, you identified these are the things, and then this is something you incorporate in the product. Like this is the end of the interview. I wanted to make it a bit more live, and that's why I've included this. So don't think of this as the interview.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Abrat.
Sure. So let's say Salesforce पे भी आ जाते हैं, given that we have spent enough time on parents. Let's look at Salesforce. So how do you think we should approach this problem now? Like, we know कि Salesforce का हमें conversion बढ़ाना है. We know कि यार if they're getting 100 leads, they should convert more of those leads. How do you think we should go about this now? How do you think we should identify, like, what's the thing in your minds right now? Open to suggestions, guys. Like this is very open-ended. There's no right answer. Yep, that's a good start. Identify the lead generation sources. Yes. Cool. Anyway, I'll get to this. So what I would do is I would look at given that we know that sales mein issue hai, so I'll just plot a graph and say ki what is the percentile ranking of my Salesforce employees, and I'll see ki the conversion needs to be around 20%. So I'll see how many people are actually reaching this, and I'll try to eliminate a lot of these employees, and I'll try to retain most of these employees. ठीक है, तो इसमें gamification बहुत काम आएगा. ठीक है. And the two key things that we need to do is gamify higher conversion at entry at every level. क्या इनको push करते रहो, इनको retain करते रहो, ठीक है. And then you will similarly do an interview. You will ask people that where do you think you stand, what are the incentives you would like, and so on and so forth. So you'll gamify the shit out of this, and that's how you will sort of work. So that's pretty much it. I'm open to any other questions at this point. I think we're running out of time as well. So. get feedback from? Yes, absolutely. That's one. Cool, guys. Any other questions? Be happy to share the deck with you if you want. Sure, Madhav, it'll be easier if you just ask the question. So you're asking how much of implementation-based role is a PM role. Could you
Yeah,
elaborate? Yeah.
yeah. So, for example, maybe when you're a consultant or a policymaker, you say very broad things. That we'll allot these many. So, for example, the national education policy, it's a very broader thing. But
Yeah.
to actually implement these things, it's a very you need careful planning, and you need to execute all of the things that you mentioned. So, is
Yeah.
product management a very more implementation based thing, or it's more of a
Yeah.
planning and say
It's
broader things, and we'll be launching this
no, no,
product on Friday, and
no.
what?
It's about it's as much about implementation as it is about planning. So implementation is supremely important. You can come with a great plan, but if you don't implement it properly, it's nothing. So uh, it's as much about implementation. That's why if you remember, I spoke about ownership, and that's what it means to me. That
Yeah.
you're owning the end-to-end cycle of it. So
And my second question is that I noticed that you were in a consulting role earlier, and you briefed something about that. But uh, did consulting made a lot of difference in your current role, or did it not make a lot of difference for you to be a product manager? For example, did consulting help you somewhere in this product management role? Did you learn
yeah,
something in consulting which helped
absolutely,
you?
yeah, absolutely. So I'd say that the approach to problem solving and thinking about, okay, if I have this problem, how do I systematically get to it? That's and being comfortable with data, being comfortable with user research. I think these three things are very important for consulting. So these are the things which I take with me, and I think this is important. So with for any business like role. So yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Hey Abhirat, so you mentioned product analyst role somewhere between the PPT. So
Yeah.
is it very much similar to a product management role, or is it easier for someone in that role to transition into a PM role?
Yeah, it is easier because I mean I'm strict. So what I say will be biased because of my experience at urban company. So what the typical trajectory here is a product analysts are very few. I think there are hardly one or two, but product analyst ultimately becomes an associate product manager, and who becomes a product manager, and so on and so forth. So I think product analyst is the profile of product analyst is to do data analysis on product release and product features, and that gives you a lot of insight into consumer behavior. That gives you a lot of insight into how products should be shaped because you're closest to the ground reality. So if you get a role like that out of graduation, I'd suggest you should take it because that's a very good starting point.
Thanks.
Sure. Guys, any other questions? Case related is also fine. Like if you have some questions about the case, or otherwise.
Sir, thank you for the case. Like, it gives a brief about like how to solve a case. I have a question regarding that the thing.
Hmm.
Basically, like in an analyst, you told about the analysis and all these sections. Like, what are the skills like we should highlight in our LinkedIn profiles and other things? Like, is it more of a communication skills or like what should I highlight?
No, so
SQL,
I think
technical skills, anything like that?
yeah, so less of for a product analyst, communication is not supremely important. I would say that comfort with data, and thus, if you have SQL skills, I'd say you should highlight that.
Okay.
SQL and data analysis, these are two things which I would highlight more. But again,
In
it
tech,
depends.
yeah. In
Yeah,
technical skills, it's more of a data thing, like that's
yeah,
the
it is. SQL and data analysis is not a problem.
okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Abhirat, I have a question. So you know about the Insta culture and the PR culture, and like you must also know that someone mentioned in the call that we do a lot of managerial stuff during our PRs and everything. So do you think that the cross collaborative team working in the PRs that we have would help a product manager as a fresher if he or she applies to it? Like how
Yeah,
PRs may
definitely.
affect
See, I think PR generally help you in life. That's a given. So it helps you in anything that is related, even remotely related to collaboration, because that's where you learn to, uh, speak to different sort of people and understand where they're coming from, empathize with different sort of people, and you also learn how to lead people at times. So, and you learn how to persuade people. You learn basics of salesmanship. So I think PR generally helps you and also helps you in product management, but it will not help you get that job. What will help you is being better at the job. Hope that answers
Okay,
your
okay.
question.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Hey Abhirat, Subhash here. One question. So you've
Okay.
actually transitioned from an APM to a PM at Urban Clap. Just wanted
Yeah.
to understand how are the roles different in terms of what are the tasks
Not,
that
not.
you were given.
Sorry to cut you there, but they're not that different. I was doing more or less the same stuff. It's so I'd say in startups it's not very startups the positions are a lot for the namesake. It's mostly what you make of them. So you can still be a product analyst, but you can still show higher ownership and get more work. And it's directly proportional to the level of enthusiasm that you show. So it's not yeah. So I'd say that has made very little difference to my life as such.
Understood. Understood. Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah, hi Abhirath.
Right.
So, how many rounds of interview do you had for the APM role when you joined?
So I think there are 6 rounds. Urban Company is a little bit more, it takes more rounds typically. But yeah,
Okay,
six
so like,
rounds.
okay, was there so much emphasis on the culture part and the team building? Like, can you tell what were your last three rounds like?
Sure. So because I've been on both sides, I've been interviewed and I've interviewed candidates as well. I'd say that three things that we look for is one, as I said, I've repeatedly told many times, is problem solving. Second part is whether what's the core motivation, like what's the person seeking, will it be a good culture fit to Urban Company, because Urban Company is not a place where people just slack off. It's not a super relaxed environment. It's a place where people take ownership and people where uh, you know people like to be dedicated at all times. So that culture fit is the second thing which I've been tested on and I've tested. So and thirdly is, I think, the enthusiasm to learn, because I started out as a I did not know a lot about product management when I began, but it's been a good journey when I've learned a lot, and that beginner's attitude definitely helps, because this is a lot about learning on the go. So yeah, those three things I'd say. One is problem solving, second is culture fit, and thirdly would be a beginner's attitude. These three things.
Thank you so much.
Uh, Abhirat, I have another question. Since you
Sure,
have
Madhav.
been so, what, how exactly life is different between a consulting role and a product management role? And since you have been an alumni of the institute, what do you think? I mean, why is there so much craze and all of these things for consulting and not for product management?
So the craze for consulting is directly proportional to the brand of the consulting firms. It's much more prestigious, and as because we entered this institute, there is an inherent bias towards those brands. We all we all have been there. We all wanted to chase ITV and etc. etc. So that's that. But getting to your first question about how life is different, I think life is. I feel that this role has given me more control of my time. Although on a lot of days I'm working pretty much the same hours, not as much for sure. But let's say even when I'm working those many hours, I feel that this is my work. This is not my client's work. This is my work, and I feel much more dedicated and committed to it. So it it feels better. It does not feel as stressful, and I can go for a workout in the morning and then I can choose to resume my work later on, and I can tell that I'm not able to work for this particular time and so on and so forth. So it gives me more control of my time, and it gives me more ownership of things. It allows me to work with people better, and be a part of their journey as well, mentor people, which was not as possible, which is not possible in consulting as much, because you're working with all sorts of people. In consulting, you work with proper, people who have been in prestigious institutes, whereas in startups, you work with people who have been, who have come from tier 2, tier 3 institutes, and they've had different journeys. But you see that a lot of these brands do not really matter as much as we think they do. So you start valuing qualities in other people, and yeah, it's a different journey. It's a different goal. But I think yeah, overall, it helps you grow and mature as a person. Like if you shift one company to another, it helps you see a different world altogether. So.
Thanks.
Yeah, sorry, Madhav, go on. Yeah.
I was just saying thanks.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there was a related question. We asked students to give us questions in the registration form. So
Yeah.
how do you deal when overwhelmed at work, especially with new adaptations and information explosion in this domain of like product management? How do you deal with information explosion?
Information explosion. Okay, I think I'm not sure what the intention of the question here is, but is the person here? I don't know. Who has asked the question? Maybe that person can answer. Elaborate on the question. Because information explosion can mean two things. It can mean there is a lot of data coming in and I don't know what to make sense of it. That's what I take of it. That does happen, and one facet of that is analysis paralysis, which you call. कि अब बहुत सारा डेटा आ रहा है, इतना डेटा आ रहा है कि मैं देखते जा रहा हूँ, like oh wow, ये भी कर सकते हैं, वो ये भी कर सकते हैं, वो ये भी कर सकते हैं, तो mental masturbation चलता रहता है कि यार oh wow, ये user आके ये करके गया, user आके ये करके गया, मतलब that happens, and that could impair decision making, but you need to, that's why you need to first decide कि कितना डेटा में घुसना है, कितना डेटा में घुसना है. So information overwhelming नहीं होता है. It is about knowing what to do with your data. I think that sense comes with time, and it's just a question of where you draw the line. क्या मैं इतना देख के इतना decision लूँगा. Data, the objective of data is not to satisfy your need for mental gratification. It is to take decisions. Once you get that right in your head, I think that's when things become better.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. Yeah.
Yeah, Abhinay, I have one more question related to urban clap culture. Okay. So as the PM, like how much, like when you talk about ownership, so do you also take decision making as in product owner role, like more on the engineering side or design side, or you only deal with the business side?
No. So decisions can be anything. So it can also be about design. Like I can, if I believe that some design is not right, you discuss with the designer and you tell them, so I feel that this is not right, and I did that recently. So that can happen. Even with engineering, it can happen that
sometimes I take the side of engineering that they say, boss, if you build it, it will not work properly. It will work properly for a month, but after that it will not. So I say, okay, fine. Let's take another month and build it properly. And that's when we'll tell the stakeholder that this is when we launch it. So it's not just about business, it's about everything. The decisions can be about it. If I draw a graph of where we started the attendance with and how we are, it's linearly decreasing slope. 31 people left.
Yeah, I guess the Shara might be a reason today.
No, I take that as feedback. Feedback is important. User feedback is important. Cool guys. Questions हैं तो बता दो. Happy to answer those. यार ये LCH में हो रहा था तो मजा आ जाता है यार. और तुम लोग मेरे लिए टिकट भेज देते तो बहुत ही मजा आ जाता था. बट आई नो नहीं करते.
ओके. हमने पूरा साल यही सोचा है कि वहाँ होते तो क्या होता.
यार सही है. बट कैसा चल रहा है, मतलब रिमोट कैसे कर रहे हो यार तुम लोग, मतलब रिमोट इंस्टी में कैसे जी कैसे रहे हो?
मैनेजिंग somehow.
बहुत खराब जिंदगी है भैया.
ये दिल से निकली आवाज है, पता चल रहा है. और बताओ, और सवाल हैं तो बताओ. ज्ञान देने में किसको मजा नहीं आता है.
Abhirad, I think one last question that I have is: are there any companies that you would suggest all of us, or are there any companies that you would probably want to join in future? Uh, be it a B2B or B2C company.
Interesting. Which I would like to join is one that comes instantly to my mind is Airbnb. क्योंकि यार वो बहुत ही सही चीज करता है मतलब I've looked I read their articles about a lot of things on a lot of things and I like how they scale the product in the sense that for example there was this story about how they initially figured out a wrong problem that you need to give users some feedback, the owners some feedback about how the user is coming, blah, 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 blah. But then they realized that actually users are not looking for X, they're looking for Y. What users were looking for is an experience, and that's how they launched Airbnb experiences. And it's a proper product and user focused company, and that's why I would like to join it more someday. That's one that's one that comes to my mind. Other companies, I'd say Instagram is a good product, but I wouldn't want to join because for my own reasons. But I think it's a very good product focused company.
Yeah. The one question I have. So let's talk about WhatsApp, okay? So
Yeah, sure.
when we talk about WhatsApp, and we all have so many groups, okay? Whenever we want to mute the group, so we have the option of like 8 hours, 1 week, or 1 year, okay? So we go for maybe 1 year we just do it. But when it comes to delete the chats, it will have only one option: clear chats. Now what I think, like I only want to delete all the chats which are like more than 2 days old or more than 8 hours old, but we don't have any option. And these are very simple things that WhatsApp PM know these things. So why don't they work on this thing? Do you have what are your thoughts on this?
Got it. So I think if you think that some feature is very important and it's not being developed, there can be two reasons. कि एक या तो उसका कोई commercial value नहीं है, ठीक है? Three reasons. तो commercial value कुछ होगा नहीं अगर मतलब कहीं वो plan में fit नहीं बैठ रहा होगा. जो product मैंने सोच के रखा है ना कि ये product आज से 1 साल बाद ऐसा होना चाहिए, वो कहीं fit बैठ नहीं रहा, ठीक है? That could be one reason. Second reason could be कि यार उसका कुछ धंधा आ नहीं रहा, ठीक है? तो कुछ धंधा possible ही नहीं है उससे धंधा आना. तीसरा reason है कि यार it is so small that it does not deserve a bandwidth to be allocated to that. मतलब कोई नहीं चाहता उस पे काम कर क्योंकि वो बहुत ही छोटा सेट ऑफ यूजर्स है. Probably 0.001% of users who want this. ऐसा कुछ फायदा नहीं होने वाला. So if I have 60 engineers working, let's say in WhatsApp, ज़्यादा होंगे, but 60 engineers working in WhatsApp, I would want to build things like search जो कि इन्होंने बना दिया है और stories को improve करूँगा जैसे कि WhatsApp पे ज़्यादा लोग चिपके हैं. I would want to optimize on payments, sort of that. So it's about prioritization. What will give me more benefit either in my business and that or business or in my roadmap. Roadmap is directly influenced by business objectives, so ultimately it's a business objective.
Okay. One more thing, just this is the curiosity to know from you. So when you use mobile, how many times it happens you open a PDF out of WhatsApp? Like what is happening with me from last few months, I open PDF only inside. When I come to WhatsApp, then I only open the PDF, like what is shared to me. It never happens like I will go in my download section or then I will open PDF, right? So what is the user behavior with your case in when you use mobile?
Sorry, so you're asking about PDF, right? Sorry.
Yeah. So you got my question, or I repeat again.
You could repeat that. It'll be better.
ओके मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ आपसे कि जैसे मेरे साथ क्या होता है, जब भी मेरे को पीडीएफ ओपन करना होता है, जो मेरी नीड है कोई पीडीएफ ओपन करने की, तो जो भी मेरे फ्रेंड व्हाट्सएप पे शेयर करते हैं मैं वही ओपन करता हूँ, राइट? मुझे कभी ऐसा नहीं होता है कि मोबाइल में डाउनलोड किया फिर मैं बाहर से ओपन कर रहा हूँ, राइट? सो मैं हमेशा क्या होता है कि कई बार मेरे पास स्टोरेज कम होता है तो मैं जो पीडीएफ फाइल रीडर है उसको भी अनइंस्टॉल कर देता हूँ, राइट? व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग क्यों ना व्हाट्सएप के अंदर ही इनबिल्ट पीडीएफ रीडर हो, मतलब अगर मैं व्हाट्सएप पे इंस्टॉल किया है मैंने,
ये जो सारी तुम प्रॉब्लम बोल रहे हो ना लोग, तो वो हो ही रहा है कि वो बिजनेस ऑब्जेक्ट में कहीं नहीं बैठ रहा होगा, वो कहीं विजन में नहीं बैठ रहा होगा, and it's better to not build it. So think about it कि let's say WhatsApp is focusing on people who have bigger phones or phones with let's say 80% of the users, मान लो ठीक है number random, 80% of the users have enough phone storage and they don't deprioritize. Even when they don't have enough storage, they don't deprioritize the PDF reader. तुम कर देते तो बाकी लोग नहीं करते. They're not focusing. Simple. तो वो कभी नहीं बिल्ड होगा, but आज नहीं होगा. That's all. आई एम श्योर कभी ना कभी कर देंगे, सब कुछ करेंगे. दे वांट टू बी द सुपर ऐप, वही उनका विजन है यार. जो चाइना में वीचैट कर रहा है वही मुझे यहाँ करना है.
Yeah, right.
तो कभी ना कभी कर देंगे. जस्ट it's a question of when. It's not a question of अभी क्यों नहीं है. So yeah.
Okay.
31 से 27 कितने 10 मिनट में. So 0.4 users drop per minute का rate है.
Any blogs you want to recommend on product management? Blogs.
हाँ, यार Reforge करके है. Reforge के blogs कुछ ज़्यादा रहते हैं. That's good. Secondly, if you want, Andrew Chen is a good guy to follow on Twitter. उसी का blog है, उससे देख लेना. These two are what I follow and recommend. And बाकी Medium पे you can follow Airbnb's updates. I think those are good.
Yeah, I had to ask one thing. So, like जैसे institute में अभी as Madhav also said कि इतना PM culture नहीं है and more people are towards consulting and उसको तो build होने time लगेगा. But like how do we suggest कि how should people explore things with respect to PM during their undergrad or during their stay at Insti so that थोड़ा कुछ सीखने मिले and probably interest generate in that
Yeah, I'd
particular.
say got it. So I think reading is one thing. Reading से what will happen is you'll start seeing products as product managers instead of seeing products as users, which is good. Product as users से start करते हैं. उसके बाद फिर next level is products as product managers. कि सोचो अच्छा मैं अगर ये चला रहा हूँ तो मैं कैसे सोचूंगा. So then that lens will come into it. So I'd say eventual goal अगर वही है तो I'd say let's say you know reading is one thing. Secondly, reading से do reading and then using those lessons in your daily apps that you use. I think these two are the places I would start with. Uske beyond even I don't have any suggestions. These two are good enough if you want to keep building on that so that वो mindset बन जाए. That's all they're looking for. Recruiters.
Okay. And one more question like similar to that. So currently अभी बहुत सारे edtech platforms आ रहे हैं for PM जैसे PM School हो गया and 2-3 और देखे. So what they do is कि they give out a problem statement with respect to any app and what they ask for a tech submission कि how would you improve that. So how useful is that for a person like who is exploring PM and who is just like college में ही पढ़ रहे हैं and how
that's
would
good. As long as you're not spending money on it. मतलब पैसे कम होते हैं यार. मतलब नहीं है तो ऐसी चीजें मत खर्च करो because a lot of this information can be free and you don't. PM School पे I don't have a point of view to be honest. But if you're getting those resources for free and if you're able to work on any problem for free, I'll say do it.
Okay. And how useful are PM internships? Are there any PM internships in India?
I don't think so. मतलब as far as I know नहीं होता. वो same reason क्योंकि PM role में they're looking for people who have worked with some have had some background in something. वो change होने में time लगेगा. But at this moment I don't know.
Okay. So guys, like we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Abhinav,
Manik, go on, sir.
You have mentioned to like do the case studies of the consulting for better problem solving approach and all. So there are many books in the market like Case in Point and all stuff. But like what I found in like there is more of a guesstimate and more of one approach they are talking about. Like the scenario you have told asked for a tutor option, like it's considering like these kind of case studies. Where can I find these kind of case studies? More of a business problem. Yeah.
So even I'm not sure where you can find case studies like those. Maybe I'll do a Google search and come back because I did not do those. I did not need to do those because थोड़ा background था consulting में and then but if you want to do those, I think I'd say that the mindset still remains the same. कि वो एक दो consulting वाली estimate से चालू कर लो, such that mindset समझ जाए कि ठीक है. If you want to estimate, how do I start with? That brings a systematic approach. That's all I'm suggesting. That's all. That plus some product blogs और ये सब पढ़ते हैं. I think thinking वैसे shape हो जाएगी.
Like, are there any resources on the consulting companies' websites? Like, they are like study section.
वहाँ पे I think I don't remember finding any, but I would say अगर मिलेगा तो most likely McKinsey की website पे कुछ ना कुछ मिल सकता है. Product management और इस पे थोड़ा overview दिखता है. But case studies तो नहीं मिलेंगे.
Okay.
So Rishikesh, the case study that you discussed, should I share this with you guys so that you can circulate?
Yeah, it would be great. मतलब आप PPT share कर दो तो we can give it to the students.
Cool, I'll do that. ठीक है.
Yeah. So guys, yeah, we'll wait for 2 more minutes. If you have any questions, we'll take up the last questions. Then we can close the session.
Abhirat sir, can I ask a personal question rather than from this professional one life you
Sure.
have? So,
As long as it's
like,
not.
yeah. So it's more of a like a what's your routine like now? How the shift is from the college life you have? Like,
अच्छा कॉलेज लाइफ से अरे यार
8 hours of your job or something we can say. But
हाँ
how do you like spend or what the things you should we do like?
अरे चल मारो ना क्यों लोड ले रहा हूँ सर दैट्स अ क्वेश्चन क्या वो शिट ट्रांजिशन करेंगे क्या करूँ चल मारो पागल हो गया इंस्टी लाइफ एंजॉय करो बेवकूफ इसमें मत करो प्रो शिट क्या करना होगा किसी मत करो यार इंस्टी लाइफ बहुत वैसे भी तुम्हारी 6 महीने से कम हो गई है तो क्यों और शायद 1 साल भी हो जाए क्या पता तो क्यों और बर्बाद करना है तो मत करो यार
Okay.
चलो 1 घंटे का सेशन है 1.5 घंटे होता तो मैं और केस स्टडी खींच लेता है Shit. और सवाल है तो बताओ यार
Okay, I think we don't have any other questions. Dishank, can you please take over?
Yeah. So we'll conclude the session. So thank you, Abhirat, for like taking out time and agreeing to like take the session today.
Sure.
It was like we got to learn a lot from the case study as well as the discussions, the intense discussions we had. So
I hope.
thanks a lot. Yeah.
Cool. Sure, yeah, no problem. It was great. It was great interacting with everyone. Thank you for the questions. Thanks for keeping it interactive. I know online format is difficult, so I understand the silent minutes as well.
Yeah, thanks, Abhirat. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, sure. And if there are any questions, just shoot me a mail. I can share the resources also, which I'll share with you guys, and then you can.
Sure. Yeah, we'll
talk
put
to
it
me.
up to the Consult Club page. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining in, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhirat.
So, bye.
Thank you, Abhiram.
Yeah. Bye, Yasha. Bye.
Thanks.